Let's talk about this past week in AI, because what we just saw was a flood of updates that didn't just move the goalposts, it basically redrew the entire playing field. We're talking new models, new powers, and totally new ways of even thinking about what AI is supposed to be.
And honestly, this quote just nails it. It really felt like the most insane AI week ever. Between massive leaks and huge product announcements, it was like a year's worth of progress got jammed into about 7 days. So, how do we make sense of all this chaos? Well, we've got to connect the dots. We're going to break down what just happened and show you the bigger picture of where all this is headed. And spoiler alert, it's happening a whole lot faster than anyone thought.
All right, let's kick things off with what is, without a doubt, the biggest story of the week. A major leak that seems to have revealed Anthropic's next-generation AI. And let me tell you, this isn't just another small update. This is something else entirely.
And this is where it gets kind of wild. The scale of this jump is just staggering. We're not talking about a little boost over Claude Opus, which is already a fantastic model. The leak points to something called Claude Mythos, a model that exists in a completely new frontier tier. So what does this frontier tier even get you? Well, you're looking at seriously powerful academic reasoning, huge improvements in things like cybersecurity, and get this, early testers described it as not even comparable to the models we have today. It's so powerful, in fact, that the company's apparently planning a very slow, very careful rollout because they're worried about how it could be misused. So the big takeaway here is this. We're not just looking at another version number, a 5.0. This is a massive leap forward in raw intelligence, and that newfound power really sets the stage for everything else that was announced. Okay, so we have all this insane new power. But what does it do? What's the point? And that brings us to the next huge shift that's happening, the rise of what people are calling agentic AI.
So let's break down what agentic AI actually is. Put simply, it's the difference between an AI that just answers one question you ask it and an AI that can manage a whole complex project by itself. You basically give it a goal and it figures out all the steps to get there on its own.
Here's an easy way to think about it. A calculator is a tool, right? You give it one little task at a time. But an automated accounting system? That's a system. It handles your invoices, it runs your reports, it manages budgets, a whole workflow. That's the exact leap we're making with AI right now, from a simple tool to an entire system. And you can see this shift happening right now. OpenAI's Codex is a great example. With their new plugins, it's not just a thing you ask for a piece of code anymore. It's an environment that actually runs things. You can launch whole workflows with just one click, give the AI a goal, and just let it work. That's agency. And it's not just OpenAI. Anthropic is playing the same game. Their Claude code is getting these features to make it more independent. Autofix can just go in and solve coding errors for you, and Auto Mode will run actions without pestering you for permission every single time. The whole idea is to make things smoother and let these AI systems work on their own. And get this, it's not just the big closed-source companies pushing this forward. A new open-source model called GLM 5.1 just scored a 45.3 on a big coding test. That puts it shockingly close to the proprietary Claude Opus. It just goes to show you that the open-source world is closing that gap on these advanced agent capabilities like crazy fast. Okay, this all leads to a really interesting and kind of tricky problem. If these AI systems are getting so powerful and autonomous, how do we actually know if they're really getting smarter? I mean, the old tests we used are basically becoming useless. We need a new way to measure this stuff. So here's the central question. How do you tell the difference between an AI that has just memorized a ton of information and one that can genuinely reason its way through a problem it has never ever seen before? Well, enter ArcAGI-3. It's a brand new test designed to do exactly that. The really crucial part here is that it tests an AI's ability to solve a new task on its very first try. No practice runs, no prior training. It's a pure test of reasoning. And the results from this new test are, well, they're kind of humbling. On these new tasks, humans get it right on the first try pretty much 100% of the time. And the very best, most advanced AI models we have today, they score less than 1%. This, for the first time, gives us a really clear picture of just how big the gap still is between AI and real human-level reasoning. So this benchmark isn't just a report card, it's more like a training ground. Once AIs start to get good at these tasks, the next frontier will be applying that same reasoning to really complex and dynamic worlds, like video games, where they'll have to act, adapt, and operate in real time, just like we do.
All this incredible power under the hood doesn't mean much if it's a pain to actually use, right? That's why we're also seeing a revolution in how we interact with AI, with new tools designed to make it feel way more seamless and, well, natural. And this is where Google comes in with its new Gemini 3.1 Flash Live. It was built from the ground up for real-time agents that can see and hear. The big deal here is the super low latency, which means you can have a smooth, back-and-forth conversation or even tell it to change something in an app with your voice, all without those awkward pauses. And on the audio side of things, Mistral AI released a new text-to-speech model that focuses on creating natural and emotionally expressive voices. It's another piece of the puzzle, making the experience of working with an AI system feel a lot less robotic and a lot more human.
So let's zoom out for a second and put all these pieces together. We've got a new frontier of raw AI power, a big push toward autonomous agents, and new ways to measure and interact with these systems. So what does it all mean?
I think this quote just perfectly sums up this entire week. The gap between AI being a simple tool and being a complete system is collapsing. And it is happening really, really fast. And that's the bottom line, really. The whole paradigm is changing. We are moving past the point of just asking an AI for a little piece of information. We're now entering a time where you can give an AI an entire goal, an entire job, and you can trust the system to see it through. And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. This shift from commanding a tool to collaborating with the system, that's not just a small technical change, it's a fundamental one. How is this new partnership with intelligent systems going to reshape everything about how we work, how we create, and how we solve problems? That's the big question this week's news forces all of us to ask.